I'm acting like I'm your boyfriend and we haven't even kissed.
You made me feel bad about it.
Yes, I did. And I want to go to the wedding, but I want to go with you.
I've done no packing.
Okay.
None.
All right. Rightly so.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter, if that's what you celebrate, or just overall a good weekend. It's time to get back into the grim misadventures of Ed and Liz. That's the official title I'm running with for right now. As I said, it changes every freaking video. I don't care. What I do care about is this cringe ball and his failed relationship that just seems to be dragging out for an entire season at this point. Last time we checked in with Ed, he was actually, you know, on good terms with Liz for like 5 seconds, and then the next day her ex showed up to a girls' night out and she got really annoyed by seeing him, so went over to talk to Ed, and he explains it more in this video, but he basically was super defensive and asking her a bunch of questions, creeping her out again, being way too serious, as if he has like ownership over this woman in her life and who she chooses to hang out with. So it's kind of up in the air if they're actually going to be dating, but you know, much like the theme of the previous episodes, Liz is on her way over to Ed's house right now to talk it out, because that's just what a good relationship is comprised of, you know, pretty much nightly talks about whether or not you want to continue even talking to this person or not. But anyways, without any further introduction, let's just hop into the video and get straight to the awkwardness.
She said she does see me as boyfriend material, and she agreed to go to a wedding with me. But then last night, basically, I f***ed up.
When do you not mess up, Ed? That's the honest question. I mean, you literally screw it up so poorly. Like, every time you have a chance with her, it seems, you just throw it out the window by being controlling or creepy, and last night was no different, or whenever this incident happened. And I'm sure he's gonna be sitting down and talking with her like, oh, I'm so sorry I messed up. Even though I know exactly what I did pretty much immediately after I did it, I've now learned that I shouldn't do that thing, and I won't do it again, I promise.
I have this insecurity with her that she might go back to her ex, because I think she has in the past, and they only broke it off about 2 months ago.
Yeah, so the way he just explained that pretty much seems like he's kind of butting into her life at a time where they're just in a rocky relationship, her and her ex. But according to him, it has been confirmed that it was just a weird coincidence that she saw him while out on the town. You know, it is San Diego, not the most happening place, so I'm sure there's very common nightlife spots that everyone goes to, so it could totally happen that you see your ex out and about somewhere. But she actually went over to Ed's house to have him console her and make her feel better, and instead he just went into interrogation mode and apparently was super mean about it, and like, why were you out with your ex? Being all creepy. You're 55, dude. You know better than to act like that.
You remember this guy?
I do. Hi, Teddy.
I'll sit down. Can I, are you in a Molbeck mood?
Sure.
And this is another really creepy angle to this whole relationship dynamic. I hate that every time they have one of these serious conversations, I get that Ed's a wine guy, but why does he have to bring out the wine almost immediately? Like, before she's even sitting down, he's like, hey, you in a mood for some Malbec tonight? Come on, let's get a little tipsy. Like, no, dude, that's super creepy that you have to be drunk every time you have one of these serious conversations.
Are you in a Molbeck mood?
Sure.
That's a good thing, because that's the only thing we serve. I'm just kidding.
And then he makes this super creepy joke like, that's a good thing because I would have had you drink it anyways. There's no water here, only wine. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding, but drink this wine, please.
And I ran into my ex, and Ed thought I invited him out to hang out with me, but I haven't been in contact with my ex for the last couple months, so I'm just upset about it.
And if I was Liz here, I would actually be super offended too, much like she was. Like, why don't you trust me? I'm coming over here because it clearly rubbed me the wrong way seeing this guy, and instead you're throwing it back at me. Like, that would just be so frustrating to be in that position. But again, Liz has just put up with so much ridiculous stuff that I don't even know if she fully cares that much. Like, maybe they're just hyping this up for the camera at this point. Also, side note, I hate to make fun of people's clothes and stuff, but where do you get a hat with a brim that weird looking? It's like so wide, I don't even know what this is. It's really throwing me off. But anyways, it's not about the hat or her outfit. Let's keep going. Ed is out here in freaking basketball shorts every time they have to do something like for a date, so I can't even judge. I think she's just sinking down to his level fashion-wise now.
And last night I came over to talk to him, and then he threw it back in my face. So jealousy's an issue, communication's an issue.
Okay, yep, there's 2 of them. Now, I'm not going to force you right now, but I want you to consider the other 98 glaring issues that you've run in with Ed the entire time you've known him. Like, there is just issues on issues on issues, and you have to consider to yourself, what are the positives here, other than me making some quick money and being on a TV show? Like, what else is positive about this? Because this guy's creepy, weird, controlling, and super sensitive. I'm talking to literally any other person outside of him, and that is just totally creepy. I don't know how she isn't more freaked out throughout this entire thing, and she just is so nonchalant about how glaring these red flags are for their relationship.
So I don't know if I told you this about Teddy, that cough.
Yes.
He's actually a non-smoker. I'm just kidding.
Oh, read the room, Ed. This is not time for jokes and I'm just kidding BS. It doesn't work here. That was the most stone-faced I've seen Liz, you know? She's just given up on the idea of even faking that his jokes are slightly funny. And you know what? I'm proud of you, Liz. That's a step in the right direction. I still think you should cut off contact entirely, but you know, this will do for now. That's a good halfway point. Don't laugh at the dumb freaking jokes.
I can't really tell what Liz's temperature is. I can tell that she, is upset. When somebody's mad at me, I run. I either crack a joke or I run. I run away.
And again, with the self-consciousness from Ed coming out of left field, when he's actually here being filmed, he doesn't know what's going on in his mind, but after the fact, he seems to have such a calm and clear, concise recollection of what he did wrong and where his shortcomings are. Yes, you are incredibly bad at having serious conversations, Ed, but I guess I'm glad you can admit to that at least. Now, seriously, not a single other joke, please. Just have a serious conversation for once in your life.
So today was really busy. I did get some packing done for the wedding, but I'm not nowhere.
I've done no packing.
Okay.
None.
All right.
Oh, big yikes, dude. Why are you starting the conversation like that, Ed? You're clearly supposed to be apologizing at this stage. That's why she came over. And after this long, awkward silence while he fills their wine glasses and she doesn't laugh at his dumb joke, he thinks, oh, the first thing I should bring up is, oh yeah, this wedding we're definitely going to tomorrow still. Dude, that's on the fence right now. And from that response, it kind of feels like Liz does not want to be going with you. Actually, it definitely feels like she doesn't want to be going with you. Oh, I'm starting to be like Ed, where I'm just thinking that everything she says is ambiguous, but it's not. She's saying things so precisely with her words, like she did not pack because she's not intending to go.
Rightly so. You want some more wine, or you're
Still working on it.
okay?
Ugh, you disgust me, Ed. Actually freaking disgust me, dude. You guys see that instant move where he got curved and he didn't know what to do, so he was like, think, more wine? Come on, let's get a little more tipsy. Hey, I could pour you another glass. I got tons of Malbec back there. Like, no, Ed, stop drinking. Stop trying to get her to drink. You gotta have this serious conversation sober, man. It's what you need to do.
You just happened to run into your ex. And I jumped to all these conclusions.
You made me feel bad about it.
Yes, I did. And I'm very sorry for that.
And of course, his apology is just full of buts. But I guess, ultimately, he is fessing up to the fact that he was simply just being insecure and did not handle that situation correctly. I guess you can kind of give that to Ed, considering he hasn't dated for 30 years, so he's gonna be really insecure. But dude, if you're worried about every single person that this girl you're talking to is hanging out with, maybe it's because you know deep down just how out of your league she is, or just not fitting she is to be in a relationship with you. And that's your own insecurities coming to light there. That's exactly what's happening with Ed every time he gets insecure here. It's because he knows without this TV show and without this possible fame and money coming her way, this would never, ever happen. And if anything, she'd probably get a restraining order by now.
My jealousy is my insecurity, which I gotta work on. I'm acting like I'm your boyfriend and we haven't even kissed. I haven't earned that position with you yet.
You know what? Ed is actually being pretty vulnerable here, but I don't want it to really distort our views on him because I think this is just a tactic that he routinely uses every time he messes up. It's super manipulative. Like, dude, if you're so conscious of yourself, like I've said 1,000 times, you should have known to not act that way in the situation. And then immediately after, when your relationship is threatened with Liz, you are now so forthcoming with all your feelings and emotions and just telling her that you'll never mess up again. It's a constant loop, and we've seen it over these episodes, man. You are honestly toxic for this woman.
I haven't earned that position with you yet, but now that I'm aware of it, I'm gonna work on it because I want this to work.
And that's just kind of another creepy comment from Ed. The fact that he says, I haven't earned the right to like tell you who to hang out with or to be controlling yet because I'm not your boyfriend. Even when you become someone's boyfriend, you don't get that right. That's an entirely different human. You don't have control over that person. You could try to influence their decisions and, have conversations when you feel like the trust is not being met equally between both parties, but you cannot be controlling. And just because she might be your girlfriend down the road and might one day kiss you, even though you've been on 4 entire different freaking dates, does not mean that you will ever have the chance to control her, Ed. That's just a really weird old school mindset, dude. And maybe it's because you're 55 years old.
Love it if you would join me to be my date.
It's like every time he pops a big question to her, her answers become less and less convincing. You can see she's fighting it more and more every time, like internally. And I'm laughing so hard because I'm imagining right outside of this shot, like over Ed's shoulder, is a producer just holding up a big check like, come on, you remember what you signed up for? Say yes, come on. You want this paycheck, don't you? Like that's literally how it feels. She just takes so long to respond. And the answer to that is a simple, at like negative 40 decibels. I could barely even hear that you confirmed yes.
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 Yeah.
'Cause I already bought my dress.
So since she already bought her dress, I guess she's still gonna go. Ed is super hype on this. He just thinks now he can get away with anything because he's about 4 for 4 with messing up and then immediately having a conversation the next day saying it won't happen again and then having her give him another chance. So at this point, he realizes he's almost invincible in this relationship. And I bet you he's gonna pull some more sleazy, weird stuff at this wedding.
He was hitting all like most of like the main points that I wanted to talk to him about. It makes me feel better because I'd like to see where this relationship goes.
And honestly, I am just so confused every time Liz is pulled away for one of these interviews. She seems so put off by his talking this entire time. Yet when she talks to the camera, she's like, he honestly hit all the right notes and it was exactly what I needed to hear from the future man that is going to be whisking me away and giving me a fairy tale life. Like that's literally how it feels she talks about him. Like she's so enamored and she was so impressed with how he talked. But the entire time she's been kind of, annoyed. So I just don't get it at this point, Liz. What are you in this for?
Your jealousy. It makes me worried. Ask me questions before assuming.
Ask questions before I make an assumption. Got it.
And Liz just has to teach him general conversational skills and relationship skills, even though she's about half his age and he should have learned that, in like preschool or something. But it doesn't take an idiot to realize that Ed just clearly had no education on how to act in social situations or around women that he's interested in because he fails epically every single time he opens his mouth.
I haven't been in that many relationships, but I am a jealous person, I'll be honest. I'm a Taurus. We're very passionate.
So it sounds like after that, he does have another chance, but it's going to be on Liz's terms. I think she's really getting sick of this BS. It's about 10 episodes too late at this point of her being annoyed with his BS. But she ends up leaving. He cracks another joke about not kissing her on the nose because he's apparently just turned that into a meme at this point. And another way for him to deflect the awkward situation of when am I actually going to try to kiss her again, which hopefully does not happen at the wedding, but I'm guessing it probably will. The whole interaction here was just awkward, but I had to show you guys this resolution before we get to the wedding episode because obviously I'm trying to show off this whole saga, especially for people who can't watch the show. Thankfully, this awkward leaving interaction is not without some, making fun of Ed, because what would an episode of this show be if there wasn't someone incredibly close to Ed that's just been, grilling him and making fun of him the entire time. That's one of my favorite themes of this show.
Oh my gosh, I'm realizing how short you are going to be with heels. You're going to be this tall.
Wait, but I'm on my tiptoe the whole time. I got it, I'm short. Okay.
So I guess it's good they're ending with some laughter here, even though it was at Ed's expense. They are going to look absolutely ridiculous when he pulls up in a terribly tailored suit, and she is just about 3 feet taller than him and 3 feet less wide. Again, I could say that because me and Ed share a lot of, physical similarities, okay? I'm in the same boat, dude. But yeah, that about does it for this episode. This whole roller coaster, I just want to kind of get off at this point, but this was an important chapter that we all had to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and it wasn't too awkward for you. I know this wedding is about to be like the worst part of this whole series, I'm guessing. So again, hopefully they show it. I don't even know if they are at this point, but this was all we got in this week's episode on Ed. As always, I appreciate everyone watching this series. You guys have absolutely been blowing up my channel because of this, so I'm so glad you're all along for the ride of this cringy relationship with me. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, peace out.